Welcome back, family, to another episode of Gifted Goddess channel where I will be gifting you with my gifts through channeling, whichever way they come through, whether it's through artwork, music, writing, straight downloads, whatever comes through. I will be gifting to you. So if it's given to me, I will share it with the collective as I am guided to, right? So, okay, top of the message I'm getting, we're meant for much more than green pieces of paper. So perhaps you're solely focused on just money and not connecting with your purpose, right? Just focused on money, you're not connecting spiritually, right? So I'm looking at something I wrote down. Why not create with the greatest creator? Plan with the best of planners, right? So if you're trying to do it all on your own, kind of in the midst of that hustle culture, trying to get a bag, chase the bag, paper chasing, as I used to call it, in my yesteryears. If you're doing that, why not align with the greatest of planners, right? Why not create with the greatest of creators, right? So get in alignment. Perhaps this is your call to get in alignment and focus on your purpose instead of just a paycheck or pension. That is my one motto over here on this channel. You'll hear me preaching that all the time because we can kind of get stuck in the rat race of the matrix, right? And we've been taught, it's ingrained in us from an early age to go to school, go to college, get the degree, get the high paying salary job, create the family, white picket fence, son and a daughter, two kids, balanced out, right? Get married, all of the things, right? So some of this could be significant for you. Maybe you feel have that going on. Ooh, I'm hearing you might have that all going on and still not be fulfilled. So that's why I preach so much on my channel to seek your purpose, find your passions, and get ingrained in that. Like really take your feet into that path, right? I'm seeing grounding like feet into naked feet into the earth is what I'm hearing. So someone definitely needs to ground their energy and just reconnect with spirit. I don't know why I'm seeing swing sets. Perhaps you have kids on swing sets, or maybe you need to swing. Encourage your kids to swing. Something about swing sets are significant. There's nothing that can make you feel like a kid again or connect you to that inner child or have you embrace that childlike energy, like getting on a swing. Because when you're swinging back and forth, you have no choice but to laugh. You feel that stomach drop and you laugh. You remember the days when you were like racing with your friends to see who could go the highest, the fastest. I don't know about you guys, but we used to jump off of swings. It was crazy times. But something about swing sets are significant. So maybe you're really going through connecting with the inner child. I'm hearing, I'm hearing reliving childhood trauma or reliving your childhood may be significant. Embrace your inner child. If you feel like you need to go swing, I saw a group of ladies, and it was the spiritual baddies, of course, who had toys. I don't have any toys, but um, there was a young lady. What is her name on Instagram? Indra. If you follow Indra's Botanicals, or Botanica. She's one of my favorite spiritual girlies. She's always dropping the gems, dropping the spiritual wisdom. And what I like about her is she is one of those spiritual women who recognize God or the Most High, right? So she's not like this, she have to be disconnected from religion. She was a former preacher. I don't know why I'm getting into all this. Perhaps this resonates with somebody. Perhaps you are kind of on, okay, that's what I'm getting. You're on like the cusp of religion and spirituality, and you are maybe both are resonating for you on the cusp of maybe diving over into spirituality, but you're concerned about hearing the religious folks or how people will judge that coming from your religious background. And if that's the case, just do what you're called to do. Don't worry about what, people will think or say, right? I'm going to just give you a perfect scenario with me. I Other cultures always resonated with me, and I never understood why. I could tell you in my earlier year, so one thing I've always, 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 always felt very connected to Native American energy. And while, I could guess, right, that I have Native American in my family, I it's not like I'm connected with anyone, right, actively who is Native American in my family, right? So there's no real reason for it to show up in my life, but that's always been a deep connection for me, a deep, just always resonated with me deeply. So that could be something that you're feeling. You feel called to different avenues, different things and cultures, and studying different beliefs. I talk about this on the channel a lot. You could be called into Buddhism. You could be called to look into different things. And what I want to assure you is the Most High would like an authentic relationship with you. So, the Most High knows all, right? So, he, she, they, whatever you attribute to the Most High, right? They know if you're authentically feeling um, connected. They know if you are authentically connecting to the religion or you're just kind of going along to get along. The Most High knows if you are wanting to seek out or you feel called to other things and you're denying it, basically being inauthentic because you feel morally obligated to the Bible or the Quran or to a certain religion or to Buddhism, and you're not looking into other things because you feel that moral obligation to stay here on path with that journey. But I want to encourage you that you're being called to those things for a reason. That's a telltale sign right there that you perhaps are meant for more, or something about those other things will resonate with you more to allow you a deeper connection, right? So the end all goal is to have the most authentic, tightest bond with the Most High, right? Y'all should be besties. The Most High wants a great relationship with you. It's calling me to. What's funny is none of this is what I wrote down to that I channel. So this is all a channel message. Good God, I am being called to share a conversation I had with my little cousin. She was in this same space. She's been kind of back and forth. She sees a lot of the spiritual stuff, of course, online where it's become popular. And she's kind of curious about it. But of course, in the family, we're taught that, tarot is evil, sage is evil, la 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 la. And what I had to tell her is, your mom and them burn sage every Thanksgiving when they pour it all over the food and put it in the oven. Right? And you're not even paying attention to that, right? But you are essentially burning sage. It is burning up in the oven as you heat it up. You are putting heat to sage, having gatherings around birds and animals, So if you want to call a thing, we can go there, right? So you can't allow how people see a thing or how people have named a thing to be how you view it, right? If you feel called to it, you're being called to it for a reason, because perhaps that will get you to a more authentic connection. Not saying that, your religion isn't enough, but there's a reason you have questions or concerns, or you're leaning towards other things, or you're curious about other things. It's definitely okay to be curious. I'm seeing 1010 on the timer as I said that. Definitely be okay. It's definitely okay for you to be curious. 1010, the end of cycles. Now we're at 1020. So in the big cycles, and balancing them out. In the cycle of just going along to get along, especially with your connection with the Most High, right? You don't want to fake that. That's not something you want to do. You don't want to have questions or concerns like, I don't know if I really believe that. And then you're faking it like you do. That's inauthentic. If you know the Most High, and especially if you're a religious person, you know the Most High makes no mistakes. I always say, I always say that the only mistake the Most High made was putting me here on the planet because I don't belong here. But that's a little inside joke. That ain't inside no more. So if you know that, right, you know the Most High hasn't made any mistakes. He, she, they knows your mind. Who do you think created it, right? Those questions and concerns are still going to be there if you don't seek out what's calling to you. It's calling you for a reason, baby. Just go on out and see why it's calling you, and then you can always research a thing and be like, yeah, no, that's not for me. That's not my thing. And drop it where you left it. It's this, there's nothing saying that, oh, if you are a certain religion and you read about another religion, now you're trapped in the other one. No, seek the wisdom. A lot of us are just in religions due to familial ties. That itself that itself can be a familial spirit, right? A familiar spirit, right? Because it's familiar to the family. You're locked in, you're linked in, you're tied in just because of family beliefs, structures, and systems, and you haven't done the work to authentically explore other things that will probably resonate with you more. You might research and find that the religion that you're in, or the practice or spirituality or belief system that you already operate in, is the best thing for you, and maybe you needed to just go out and explore those other things to kind of, I'm hearing like, weed them out, or process of elimination, right? Do what you're called to do. That message was for somebody, because that was not on my table of things to discuss. So let's get into the message. Legally Blonde 2 came up. I've never watched Legally Blonde. I've never watched Legally Blonde 2. All I know is she's a lawyer. What is that girl's name? See what I'm saying? I don't even know the lady's name. I forget her name. If it comes to me, I'll say it. But I'm talking about the actress's actual name. I just know she's going to be a lawyer, and she wears pink a lot. And everything she owns is pink, which I resonate with. I love, 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 love pink. I'm such a pink girly. So very prissy in that sense. So any of that could be significant to you. Perhaps you like pink, or you're wearing pink, you like pink, favorite color pink, maybe you're looking at pink, maybe pink is significant to you for some reason. Wearing Pink Friday, perhaps that's your thing. Um, Wearing pink on Fridays, I guess, could be significant. But pink is also the color of like love and passion and all things cutesy and girly, so that could be significant for you. Legally Blonde, her name is Reese Witherspoon, is the actress. It was out in 2001. 136 could be significant. Her name is Elle Woods. Let's see, Legally Blonde 2 came out in 2003. Rom-com teen. And 135 could be significant. Something about fields. Okay, so she was like a law student or a lawyer or something. Like I said, I don't really know. But perhaps you're a lawyer, perhaps you're in law school, something about your field is significant. Do you feel confident going into this field? Is this what you want to do? Is this aligned with your purpose, or are you just doing it for a paycheck? Really get clear about that, because not only do you have your life in your hands, you have other people's fate and life in your hands, right? So if you're not passionate about practicing law, then that's not really something you should get into. We have too many people in careers and fields that they're not passionate about. We have so many nurses who lack bedside manner, doctors who lack bedside manner. We have so many people that lack compassion because they lack passion for their field. So they're lacking in compassion when operating in that field. If you know, you know. If you get it, you get it. Smile is what came through next. I don't know if you need to smile more. Maybe someone has told you that today. I know Smile is a movie. No, that's not it. Okay, so smile. Smile more. I don't know. Maybe your nickname is Smiley, or maybe you smile a lot. Okay, I have Wednesday written up here. You don't smile. You need to learn to smile more. Um, Enjoy the small things, right? It doesn't have to be big things. It can't be all work related. Okay, I see. So perhaps you're too focused on work and career and the family and the things that you're not smiling and taking the time to enjoy life. Smile. Birthday of 3/8 could be significant. March 3rd. Your name could be Maya K. Um, the initials H, D, E are significant. IV, HIV. Good Lord, I hope not. If so, smile through it. There's medications that can help you with that. It's not the end of life. You can have medications that are life sustaining to keep your blood levels at a good space. So if that's the case, just adhere to what your doctors are saying. Look into alternative methods if you feel called to. Now I'm seeing DL. So something is very significant about that. I didn't even notice that when I wrote that down earlier, but I'm getting HOE DL. So a HOE is on the DL with HIV. Lord, pray for it all. Use protection. That's all I'm going to say. As I say that, the next thing that comes up is protect the family from their misfortune or their misplaced fortune. So I don't know if the family is encouraging you perhaps to be in this career to basically help them, right? So if you're making money, if you're doing the things, then everybody's gonna be relying on you. You know, you're making the big bucks. Everybody thinks they can quit their job type of energy, or thinks they can call and hit you up. Don't don't allow yourself to be in that position. Don't feel obligated, okay, to that field because you want to provide for the family. If that's the case, I'm hearing realign your energy, reassess. That's the word that's coming through. Reassess your plans, your reasoning for getting into your field, because you can't help everybody. And somebody has misplaced their fortune. So they haven't operated in their purpose and path, and they're not caring about if anybody else does. So somebody's just caring about the money. The green pieces of paper that we mentioned in the beginning of the video, that's a song by Styles P, by the way. Green piece of paper. That could be significant for somebody. You could like Styles P. SP could be your initials. PS. A letter coming maybe. Emergency. They need you now. This is what I'm saying. Something's going on. Someone's having a medical emergency, a mental health emergency, a financial emergency, and they need you now. Everybody's emergency isn't always your emergency. So keep that in mind. You can help as you see fit. Don't drain yourself, right? And just take mental note. Is this someone you can depend on when you're down and out? Now I'm seeing love triangles. So something's very significant about a love triangle, somebody on a DL being loose, a HOE with HIV. So protect yourself. Now they're taking mental health serious. No one listened, now they will. So clearly someone has warned someone of something and they weren't listening. Now they're taking it serious. I'm hearing mental health accusations all over the place now. Now it's serious. Someone is bogus. I don't even use the word bogus. So that's bogus. So perhaps that's terminology you use where you're from and your family and your circles. Someone is bogus, telling bogus lies about your sanity. So a lot of mental health was coming up in this energy. Something about Wednesday is significant. So I don't know if today's Wednesday, number one. So I decided to do this message on Wednesday. Next Wednesday could be significant. Something about a Wednesday is significant, or you could resonate with Wednesday. Wednesday Addams from the Addams family, just being that black sheep from the family. And Wednesday is very intelligent, and perhaps people rely on you but don't listen to you in the same sense, which is weird. A lot of black sheep energy. So if it resonates, it resonates. If you know, you know. The situation is evolving. It's turning around. The truth is rearing or roaring its ugly head, is what I got. So the truth is coming out about your sanity and these bogus lies that were told. It's who you'd least expect. The truth is coming out. Half truths becoming known or whole. So what once were half truths, people are getting the whole story now. So that could be significant for somebody. And now I'm saying wink, wink. So if you know, you know. If it resonates, it resonates. So hopefully you get the clarity and justice that you deserve, because nobody deserves to be slandered in any type of way. And mental health is serious, right? So we want to take those who actually have a mental health emergency serious, and we don't want to put that on someone where it's not appropriate, right? That's strange. So I got no longer a team effort. The group is jumping ship before it sinks completely. Something about sinks is significant as well. Maybe you got a new sink. Something about saints and religion. Is that, I'm going to come back to that, because something about that is making me think of religion for some reason. Shinks, is that a? We'll have to come back to that, because something about that is sticking out to me and I don't know why. But you could have got a new sink, but something is definitely sinking terribly. Perhaps you have a clogged sink. Clogged sinks clog your abundance. Clear the sink. If you have a clogged sink, try to get it cleared, because that clogs up your money, right? Money flows like currency, like water. Money is currency like water, so it should flow effortlessly. So if you have a clog, that blocks up your abundance. So you may need to clear your sink. Maybe you need to get a new sink. You're thinking about a new sink. The farmhouse sinks are significant. But something, everybody jumping off the ship before got a whole lot of jumping ship because it gotta pay this money for the rent and the Cadillac. So you can watch that movie. What is that? Hustle and Flow. Good Lord, because there was some HOEs in there being pimped out and everything like that. Hopefully that's not your situation. But there's a whole lot of jumping ship before Saints. Toxic connections are severed, have been severed, need to be severed. So if you find yourself with toxic connections, cut them off. If you want to ascend, cut them off. I'm getting follow the children. Okay, so you know how caring, like careless and like free children are. Perhaps you need to follow that energy. It's calling me to tell you guys about a dream I had. I'm not gonna tell you where I was. Cause that's what will be, I, okay. Okay, maybe somebody needs to hear this. Perhaps you have dreams and you know that you're not in Kansas anymore. You know you're not. Was that in this message or another message? You know you're not in your hometown. If you're in a foreign place, a foreign state, land, country, whatever, religion, whatever. But in this dream, I was like in a building trying to get away from someone, like running away from someone essentially. Not a dark gory dream, just someone who had a darker and a sinister energy, right? And I wasn't sure of his intentions. I was running away from him. Older man, dressed spectacularly, might I add, like beautiful, I want to say Italian suit, shoes, and a trench coat. Older man, very handsome. I'm hearing the devil was the most handsome angel. So, if you know, you know. I was definitely scared. But anyway, in this dream, I kept trying to escape him. And I was in this building and kept going up these steps and indoors and around the corner and down the steps and around the way. Da, 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 da. And I kept trying to find my way out the building because I wanted to get out of this building running in circles. And something in my mind said, follow the children. So, and every time I followed a child, followed a kid specifically, is coming out, they led me outside. Every time I got behind a kid, somehow or another, I would end up outside. Where if I was just running haphazardly or aimlessly, is the word that's coming through, I just kept running in circles, running in circles. So follow the children, follow where your inner child is calling you to go. Follow the passions of the child that you once were, right? What did you want to be when you grew up? What are you naturally gifted in? We're all about embracing our gifts, learning our gifts to share with the world, to feed our purpose. So what are your natural gifts? What have you done well as a kid, still to adulthood? What invokes joy from you since a child, right? Something about that childhood energy, something about embracing the inner child. That's where the magic is. That's where the magic is. So embrace that. I hope something here resonated for you. Remember, none of this can be a delusion if other people see it too. That is your reality testing. That's something we did in the mental health field. I did work in the mental health field for about 14, 15 years. So I'm kind of well versed in the terminology and one things they would do with people who were believed to be experiencing delusions, right? Their words, not mine, because now that I'm on this path, I kind of have a different outlook on mental health situations, I'll call it. I don't even want to call it issues, mental health situations where I feel like it's more of a spiritual imbalance and not necessarily just a chemical imbalance, right? And we haven't learned to tune into the exact frequency of certain said individuals who are said to be experiencing a mental health emergency or crisis. So if they're experiencing delusions, hallucinations, things like that, I am starting to believe that it's a spiritual imbalance. If you know, once you get those spiritual set of eyes, you kind of see things differently. And what cued it in for me, this probably significant, I heard a pastor talk about it. Pastor Stephen Darby. You can find any of his sermons on YouTube. Unfortunately, he's passed on now, but his sermons are very poignant. They're very educational. So you don't just get a sermon and he says a good word and speaks in crescendos, and so to draw you in, and because he's learned the tricks of the trade of being a good orator, right? No, he's actually teaching you the word, teaching you about spiritual warfare, teaching you about the spiritual nature of life and the things that you experience. So, this is what I'm saying about that reality testing. You can't be delusional if other people are saying it and seeing it too. He described when he got his set of spiritual eyes, or when his third eye opened up, whatever you want to call it, and how he would hear things and he knew that it wasn't how he heard it. Like how they said it and how he heard it was two different things. But he heard the spiritual nature of these people. And I want to say the intention behind it, but they don't, most people aren't aware of the spiritual nature. So they're saying things just to be saying it. And the spiritual nature behind it, the spirit attached to them, is has a different agenda or motive or thing like that, right? So someone was, I think, asking him if he wanted to eat something, trying to give him something to eat or something, or inviting him somewhere. I forget what the exact thing was. I believe it had to do with food. And he said he heard it differently. Oh, it was food. Somebody gave him food. And he said he saw it differently. And he said he knew that how he saw it wasn't how it would actually look. Like he was like, he knew the food probably looked appealing, but something about once that eye opened, he saw it for what it was, and something probably wasn't right with that food, so he declined to eat it, right? And I believe this was someone, let me not quote it. If you're inclined, you'll go see his scriptures. And if you are a religious person, open to the lectures. Like I said, his lectures are very educational, so you definitely get a word, not just super religious either, very authentic, very relatable and real. He's a very educated, well thought out and spoken man. So you won't be, you'll be doing yourself a favor if you check out his things. It's Pastor Stephen Darby. I think it's called Destiny Ministries. You can check him out on YouTube. Beautiful sermons. And you see, here I am. I into spirituality, into the path of ascension, into learning more, seeing more. I meditate and do all the things. Still don't dismiss. I'm seeing 10/20 again. That could be significant for somebody. Somebody's birthday definitely has to be like October 20th. We are in October this month. Perhaps your birthday is this month. January 2nd, I'm getting 1/2 could be significant. 10/2, so October 2nd could be significant. But you won't, knowledge is power. The more information you have, the more equipped you are to make better and sound decisions for yourself, right? So I will leave the message there. Don't be afraid to go where you're called and get on that path to purpose. And the way to do that, the first step is getting honest with yourself, honoring your instincts, and getting radically truthful with yourself about who you are, where you're trying to go, and what attachments you need to sever to get there. So definitely any toxic connections keeping you bound to lower vibrational energy, you want to sever and disconnect gracefully, of course, if you can. Don't feel obligated to stay connected to people because of history, age, familial ties, relationships. Like I said, you can have all the things going, the marriage, the car, the house, the dog, the kids, and you're wondering why nothing is working. Nothing makes you feel fulfilled. You don't feel happy at the end of the day. You still feel that angst, that anger, that inner resentment. It's because you aren't, the spirit isn't fulfilled. So you fulfilled the fleshly things, like, let me not get on a sermon here. You fulfilled the fleshly things, or the 3D things, as we would say in spirituality, but the 5D things, the spiritual nature, hasn't been sustained, satisfied, fulfilled. So that could be what's missing. The spirit knows the way, the inner child knows the way. They're calling you to your purpose, to your path. They don't want to be tied down to all these different things. Not saying run out and leave your family. Seek purpose, seek passion, at least explore where the call is coming from, right? It's coming from inside the house. The call is always inside the house. That's significant for someone. But see where the call is leading you to. Where's it calling you to go? Aren't you a little bit curious where you might end up? And smile along the way. That's the end of the message, guys. If you had anything resonate for you, remember to like this, share, subscribe, so you can get more messages, so you don't miss any downloads, right? I want to keep you uploaded with the downloaded so you don't miss a thing. And let's see, what can we drop in the comments? Let's drop something pink, since we had that Legally Blonde come up in the beginning. So pink hearts, pink flowers, all the pink things, because we want to embrace the beauty in life. We want to embrace our passions, our love, and stir that energy back into ourselves, right? We're not just puppets on a string, living in this concrete jungle of a world just to make green pieces of paper and pass away. I'm seeing 10:23 on the timer, 1, 2, 3. So things are going along as needed. We want to embrace our journey, stir the love back, bring the passion back. What invokes joy, right? So leave something pink in the comments if you feel so inclined to do so. I thank you for listening and tuning in. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Until next time, peace, y'all.